All right, welcome to it. It is Halloween week. Halloween's coming up this weekend. I'm sure you just had a bunch of Halloween parties over the weekend that just happened. Hope you had a good time. Now tell me, what was your favorite costume? What's your favorite costume of all time? All throughout the years you can remember celebrating Halloween. This is a Halloween episode. Not really, but we're going to start off with that. I'm going to tell you right now, my favorite Halloween costume was caveman. A couple years ago, the whole family dressed up like caveman, cavewoman, dinosaur here and there with one of the kids. And that was just so much fun. We actually went downtown Bremerton and went around to, they always do a Halloween thing downtown. Local businesses give out candy and the kids go do a faux trick-or-treat there. But it's not actually on Halloween. It's usually the weekend before. So that was so much fun. I just remember we just looked ridiculous, you know, dressed up in these fake furs, and I'm sure there's a picture out there somewhere. Honorable mention, the British soldier. I mentioned that a couple weeks ago. Yes, that's always a fun one, the British soldier. But coming up, I'm gonna be, I think, somebody from Minecraft. Now, Rhodey's gonna be Steve. I suggested that I would be the guy in the movie, Jason Momoa, and I don't remember his name in the movie, but he's a made-up character. He's not in the video game, so I think that got ixnayed. I'm going to choose to believe that the reason why it got ixnayed by Rhodes was because it's not in the video game, it's in the movie only, so it's not really a thing. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But as long as you think I could make a good Jason Momoa lookalike character, then we're good. But the movie was fun. I've played a little bit of Minecraft. It's a cool game, to be honest. But my son's super into it. So anyway, I think that's what this year's going to be. Honorable, another one of my favorites from days of yore, back in the day, bachelor days. Actually, no, I think I was still with Holly at that point when we did this, but it was very early days with Holly, and we dressed up like 70's people. So like 70's leisure suits. It was Tom and me. Holly dressed up like, you know, I guess a flower child or something like that, kind of, you know, a 70's girl. That was fun. Everybody, our whole group of friends dressed up like we were in a 70's party. I think it was a 70's theme party. I think it was, yeah, which makes sense. But that was fun. That was a fun Halloween. All right. What else? Grease. I was a greaser one year. I always loved the movie The Outsiders, and just the greasers, the socias, that became kind of part of my worldview in a way. It's funny, you know. I probably see the world in some ways like greasers do. So ran for a fight sometimes, but there's always a tender side, right? So before I get into voicemails, because you guys called, and please do call in if you haven't called in a while. If you've never called, call in, give me one word, and I can go off of that. I can play a one-word voicemail. And, you know, if you're the shy type, please call in. The number is 1-360-830-6660. Leave a voicemail. I would love to hear from you and talk about whatever it is you're interested in. So let's get to it. It doesn't have to be only about MxPx, but I know the most about MxPx. Not always the most accurate. Sometimes my memory steers me in a way that's like somebody's like, no, that's not how it was, but that's how it was for me. We'll see. But anyway, you know, like that 70's party, you know, I thought it was Halloween. Well, it was Halloween, but you know, the reason we were all dressed up as 70's people was because it was a 70's themed party. It's all coming back to me. It's all coming back. I had this, I had a downstairs basement, if you will, back a couple houses ago, my first house ever, East Bremerton. And downstairs, I made it into a bar. It had a kegerator, like with a fridge and everything, and a tap. And it had a full liquor bar. It had wine. It had everything you would want, just about. And there was a pool table at one point. There was karaoke. There was a bar. There was a neon sign that said Snake Ranch that my buddy gave me. Snake Ranch. That's what we called the place. And we gambled. We played CeeLo. We played poker. We did the whole 9 yards down there and had a great time. And when I got married, Holly joined right in the party. Like, we had some amazing parties down there. So one of those was that 70's party. So good times. And that 70's show, gotta say, that is a quality show. If you like sitcoms and you've never seen that 70's show, such a great show. The characters are great. The acting's great. The culture, the commentary is just hilarious. I love that show. I hadn't even thought about that show in a long time, but I like all types of shows. And back in the day when sitcoms were newer, they were done much better. I feel like, I'm sure there's some decent sitcoms these days. I don't know what they are. Please call in. Let me know. If you don't want to call in, you absolutely don't want to call in, then you can join our Facebook group, Mike Herrera Facebook. It's Mike Herrera Podcast Facebook group. Join there, comment, whatever it is on the post for the episode. And people don't usually comment, but you're probably not looking for it. So that's a great way to get my attention, though, is Facebook. All the other places I'll look, but Facebook I always go back to because I have to look for the Music Mondays, which I haven't done in a little while. But we also submit YouTube links to Music Monday right there on the same Facebook group, the Mike Herrera Podcast group. All right. You guys, MxPx has some shows. Before we get into the voicemails, MxPx is playing, and we just did Canada. I assume it all went well. I'm filming / recording this the day before we leave. So I'm not going to say anything about it, but thank you everyone that bought tickets, and we'll talk about that next week. All right. Thursday, November 13th, 2025. That's this year, people. Thursday, November 13th, Mercury Ballroom, Louisville, Kentucky. First show of our November run. That's my birthday month. So please, if you guys want to support MxPx, support what I do with the podcast, go buy a ticket. Would appreciate that. That's Thursday. And then Friday, November 14th, the Pageant, St. Louis, Missouri. Going to be back. Going to see my friend Moon. He's there. Always love hanging out in St. Louis. Good people. Good people. Saturday, November 15th, 2025, Ozark Music Hall. Let's go. Fayetteville, Arkansas. Ozark Music Hall. It's what used to be JJ's Live. Now it's called Ozark Music Hall. Come see us there, Fayetteville. I haven't been there before, so I don't know what to expect. I just expect the show to be full. Absolutely. So I'm sure there's still tickets. Please go check it out. Go get tickets at MxPx.com. And last in that run is Sunday, November 16th, Tower Theater, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Land of so many people that I know. So many great quality people. Shout out to the crew, MxPx crew. For that matter, St. Louis, we have some MxPx crew in St. Louis as well. So great people in all those places. We'll see you there. Can't wait for it. MxPx and the Ataris. If you haven't seen the poster artwork, check it out. Space PX is busting out of a van on a skateboard, and the skateboard's so cool. It's like this Santa Cruz logo. So check that out. And then December, Punk Rock Christmas in Arizona. That's Chandler, Arizona, which is Phoenix, Arizona. We'll see you in the desert for Christmas. We'll play some Christmas music. We'll play some classic MxPx songs. You guys don't want to miss it. It's going to be an outdoor fest. Can't wait to see you there. It's going to be great. Christmas in the desert. MxPx, Face to Face, The Vandals, Authority Zero, Voodoo Glow Skulls, Slick Shoes, Urethane, Gen Pop, and Winterhaven. Tickets at punkinthepark.com. Appreciate you guys supporting. This is going to be a great event for us, and there's more to come. So next year, we got Vancouver, BC, January 9 at the Commodore Ballroom, MxPx with the Suicide Machines. Tickets are low for that show. And then the next night, January 10th, at the Showbox in Seattle, tickets are sold out. Thank you, everyone. If you're from the Northwest, please don't fret. We will be back. It won't be too long. We appreciate you. All right, Santa Cruz, California, by the way, January 23rd, 2026. The Catalyst. Going to be great to be back there. It's been since 2001, maybe, that we were there. Right around 9/11, right after like our crazy story, our dates got pushed back because 9/11 happened, 9/11, 2001. And everybody knows what that is. If you don't, please learn. Never forget. But whatever conclusions we may have come to in the years past, it doesn't change the fact that all the airports got shut down. Everybody that had flights didn't have flights now, so we had to push our tour back because our tour was starting. It was MxPx with Mest, and I think there was another band. I can't remember who it was. And what happened was we just canceled. We just, in those days were different. We just literally pushed the tour back like a week or 2 weeks. So some of the dates stayed the same, but some of the first dates got pushed to the end of the tour or something like that. And so we rented some vans, 2 minivans, in fact, and we drove everybody down to Chico, California. We played Bricks in Chico, California. And at that point, we were on the phone to the promoters, like, hey, do you think we should do these dates? And the promoters were like, yeah, man, everybody's hurting, the country's hurting, and they've had a week or two to grieve and to think about it, and they want something positive to happen. So they want these shows to happen. And so we did the shows, and the shows were great. The shows were, they were punk shows, they were in these places that we played, at the time. But I remember my wife, Holly, she was not my wife at the time. She was my girlfriend, and she was supposed to fly home to Texas from Seattle. And because of 9/11, she was supposed to fly out that day just as we were, and we weren't flying out that day. In fact, we weren't flying out for another week. Like I said, we weren't flying out at all. We had to rent those cars. So the bus met us there. We get on the bus. Holly's with us on the tour because she wasn't planning to be, but now she's with us. And to be honest, that's the reason we got married. So if you haven't already listened to my podcast with her, go listen to that episode. It goes deep into that whole story, but what a wild story that is. And a little bit after that, we played Santa Cruz, California. It could have been a couple months after that. It could have been a year after that, but I just remember it was very new. My life had changed. I was now married, and we played Santa Cruz, California at the Catalyst. And Too Bad Eugene played that show, I think. I was trying to do Rock City recordings at that point, and they were on that tour. So that must have been 22 Jacks and Too Bad Eugene. So we played all over the country on that tour. I know this was meant to be a concert calendar, but the stories involved with some of these places we're playing, it's amazing. So tickets are on sale right now for Santa Cruz, California at the Catalyst, and it is not a big place. And speaking of which, we're also the next night, January 24th, Saturday night, San Francisco, California at the Fillmore. Epic place. The last time we played there, we headlined, and we've headlined there before, but one of the few times we played there right before the last time was when we opened for Joe Strummer, and that was the last run he had done before he passed away. And so that venue, the Fillmore, means a lot to us. It's got a lot of memories, a lot of great shows we've done, we've opened and headlined a lot of great shows there. So we're back there with the Ataris, January 24th. They always play Green Sleeves at the end of the show, and we have walkout music, and a lot of the influence comes from the Fillmore because they always have this walkout music where their local crew knows the show is done when they hear Green Sleeves play on the PA. And likewise for the MxPx crew, when they hear Sleepwalk by Santo and Johnny, that tells them the show's done. and tells me the show is done. It was a good show. We made it, you know. So we have our own traditions with MxPx, and that's one of them, you know. It's been like that for a little while, but it's taken years and years to come to, and you know, sometimes you change those things, but I think there's certain, once you hit on certain things, you want to keep those traditions alive. So not everything becomes a tradition that you have to do all the time, but maybe you do the spirit of it. But for us, Sleepwalk is going to be that end music for a while. It just gives you a sweet melancholy vibe. For me, it reminds me of all the most important things in life. And that's what I want from MxPx shows. I want you to have the best time of your life, make new memories, and you know, and it doesn't stop at just thank you, good night. It stops at when you leave the building and hopefully get in your car or take your transport, get picked up, whatever it is, however you're getting home, you get home safely. So, all right, I got all sentimental, you guys. All right, I know that there's more shows. We have more shows. Did I get to them all? We just announced a bunch of shows that went on sale, so let me get to those, and then we will get to voicemails. Come on. Here we go. So we are finally coming back east. MxPx and the Ataris trying to finish out this run of Find a Way Home and this era, because we are being pushed out by time and by all these new songs and stuff, because I'm still writing for the record and we're working on the new record, and we've may or may not been working on things and come up with a name, and you know, it's rumblings are happening, but it's not ready yet. So I don't want to talk about the new record. I want to talk about shows, and the fact that we're finally coming back to Washington, D.C., 930 Club, Thursday, March 26th. That's a place that has a lot of memories for me, for MxPx as well. We recorded, one of the two shows we recorded was in Washington, D.C. Let me finish my thought. One of the two shows we recorded for live at the show, was in Washington, D.C. at 930 Club. And so it's been a minute. We've been there so many times. One of the last times I was there, Oliver Peck, tattooer, tattooed the outline for my back piece. My whole back is tattooed, and the outline for it was done at 930 Club upstairs in the dressing room. I timed it. It took like 70 minutes. It was like the fastest thing ever. It was like 2 hours or less than 2 hours. And yes, it was painful, but I remember I got 9 sittings, I think, all said and done for that back piece. But the outline was done in one shot, 930 Club. One of them was done in many parking lots in his trailer, but one of them was in Cleveland at the Agora Ballroom. But I digress. We'll be in Washington, D.C. I can't wait for 930 Club. Place is awesome, and people have been waiting a long time for us to be there. So we're there. And then Friday, March 27th, the Norva, Norfolk, Virginia, another place we haven't played in so long. A lot of great memories, a lot of craziness that happens in the Norva. So come join us there. You're going to have a good time almost every time. And then Saturday, March 28th, the Fillmore, Charlotte, North Carolina. To be honest, I don't know if I've played here or not. Definitely not as the Fillmore. Maybe the venue name has changed. But Charlotte, North Carolina, certainly no stranger to. Great town, lovely town. It's grown a lot since I've been there. So I appreciate seeing you guys there, and come say hi. I would love to meet a lot of you guys on the East Coast that I don't get to see as often. And then capping it off, we got Sunday, March 29th, Charleston Music Hall in Charleston, South Carolina. A lot of people have been asking us to come to North Carolina and South Carolina. So we are there Saturday and Sunday. So Sunday in Charleston, come on, see us. Tickets are available. They just went on sale, MxPx.com. I'm excited. MxPx and the Ataris, you know, it's going to be a good one. And, you know, we're nearing the end of the era. So everything's going to change eventually once we hit further into 2026. And we're just doing our best to hit all the cities we can. So if we haven't hit your city, I apologize, but I also don't apologize, because there's probably a good reason, and it's nothing personal. So, and I don't book myself. So we have a booking agent and an agency, and they take care of all the scheduling and all of that. So that being said, Goldfinger is going to be doing some shows on the East Coast as well, in Florida, and then I think Philly and Jersey. That's December. That's 2026 as well. I don't know all those dates, but go check out the Goldfinger dates if you're interested. I will be at all those dates except for anything that's in Australia or overseas that might be booked right now. But I think that's only Australia is the only one I'm not going to be part of. And it has nothing to do with Australia. It just has to do with I have an MxPx show booked at the same time. It's Punk Rock Christmas, December 6th, and Goldfinger will be on the other side of the world. So, hey, it happens now and again. It usually doesn't happen, but sometimes it has to happen because these things can't be shuffled around as easily as you might think. It is not a one-size-fits-all world out there. Every little thing is tailored to a T. Each band is different. Each band does certain things a certain way. And hey, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing. I would love to have you share the podcast. If you haven't already done so, share an episode or two, some of your favorite episodes with a friend or somebody that you know is looking for some entertainment and might be a fan of punk rock or MxPx, or maybe they haven't given MxPx the chance and they just need a little more depth in order to give us a chance. But hey, give us a chance. MxPx.com. We have not just shows, we have merch. We got a bunch of vinyl. We got all this other stuff, hoodies, t-shirts, hats, you name it. We almost have it. So MxPx.com. We're a mom and pop store. We'll talk more about that later, but I appreciate you. All right, let's get into a few voicemails, and then I'll let you go on with your day. It's Halloween week. It's got a lot going on. So I wish you the best, and I wish you to stay safe. Watch out for that the drugs in the candy, kids. The needles in the candy. It's so fun. There's so many funny memes about like, oh, who's putting perfectly good drugs into candy for kids? I'm keeping that for myself. But it is real. People do try to hurt people during Halloween for some reason. It brings out weirdos. Stay vigilant, my friends. Stay vigilant. All right, I'm crazy. Here we go. Here's the very first voicemail. And by the way, I asked for ladies to call in, and we might have ourselves an all ladies voicemail show, which I love. Here we go.
Hey, Mike. Good afternoon. Good morning. I don't know what time of day it is for you, but...
Okay, I have to start that over. What's going on here?
Hey, Mike. Good afternoon. Good morning. I don't know what time of day it is for you, but I do hope it's going well. This is Carrie Thompson from Austin, Texas, / Las Vegas, where I'm originally from, but I live in Austin. Things are going well here in Texas. We miss you. We miss the band. We'd love it if y'all came back for some more shows in Texas soon. But yeah, I was calling on a whim today because I'm sure like a lot of people in, like not in the MxPx world, I've been listening nonstop to Taylor Swift's new album. And I needed to break it up a bit today. I'm probably one of about 4 people out there that are both an absolute, in that case, obsessive person about both MxPx and Taylor Swift. There are a few of us that exist. I'm friends with some of them. Hi, Eva. She's one of them. But I've been really digging the new album, and it's got me thinking about new eras, right? Leaving the Find a Way Home era behind at some point. And I'm curious when y'all are planning to release your new album. Are we ditching the Find a Way Home era anytime soon? And so, yeah, that got me thinking back to when Find a Way Home did come out, and I remember Holly making a comment about something that sometimes the songs you write about her can feel a bit like airing your dirty laundry, and so I was wondering what some of those songs are. I mean, we all know that's Taylor's formula, right? Airing of the dirty laundry, and I'm curious, which of your songs have been the hardest for you to release because maybe Holly didn't want you to, or maybe you had to change something that you wanted to put out there, but she made you change it. So tell us the dirt here. I mean, what was the conversation like too? Like, hey, I wrote this song about you. I want to put it on the album. Is that okay? Or maybe you don't ask permission. What is your formula when it comes to putting more of your personal life into your lyrics, and how do you, I guess, take those to market, put them out there into the world? So that's it. Looking forward to your answer. Hoping to see you at a show sometime soon. Sending all my love to you, to the band, to all of the MxPx family, and hope you have a good one. Bye, Mike.
Thanks for the call, Carrie. It's so great to hear from you. Yes, we always love Texas. We love Vegas. We love it all. But yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back in Texas. We'll be back in Vegas, I'm sure. Swiftie, new album. I've heard the first song. I don't remember what it sounded like. It sounds like Taylor. It's good. I like some of her songs. I would say I'm definitely not a Swiftie, but I think some of her songs, a couple of her songs, are just really, really just the top echelon of songwriting and even performance. Whether or not it's the producer or her or whatever, that doesn't even matter to me. It's just like this song, boom. And I would say, Blank Space probably being at the top of that list. Shake It Off is kind of annoying as it is. It's a really good song. That era of Taylor I really liked. What was it? What album was it? It was a couple albums ago. It was acoustic, and it was, I think, Jack Antoff produced, and it was okay, that's most of her songs, right? But the same could be said about me. That I write similar melodies, but that song it was a kind of an acoustic album. I wish I knew more. That was a great album, but especially a couple of those songs where she's talking about, going to the bar, going to the coffee shop, whatever it is. Just like, okay, maybe she says she's at the bar, down at the bar a lot, but it makes sense. 'Cause in the song, it makes sense because she's at the bar a lot. So she's like, okay, here I am again at the bar. I feel like that sometimes too, as a songwriter, like, here I am again doing this thing that I do. So even though I can't remember the name of the song that I really liked from her, Betty, there it is, Betty. Hey, Betty, she's like talking to somebody that she bullied as a kid or something. For me, let's get right into the Holly thing. For one, I think over the years she she just somewhere along the way stopped worrying about it, or maybe she worries about it but doesn't say anything. She doesn't say anything. I would say one thing, though, is most of my personal lyrics, even when I write a love song about her, it could be just a love song for anyone, so because I'm trying to write for myself, but I'm also writing a song. And so sometimes the idea of what you want changes a little bit, and it's like, oh, it makes more sense to say it like this, but that's not actually as factual. And so you get what I'm saying? You change things in the course of writing the song to where it started out being inspired by this moment that happened. I screwed up. I did something. We're in a fight. That's when you feel like emotions. Man, I can't do anything right. I hurt her feelings. I say things in a rude or condescending way, in a way that I wouldn't say to like somebody I'm just meeting. I would be very nice to somebody I'm meeting for the first time. But you get to know your loved ones, you get comfortable, and you let your guard down, and then you go blah, 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 and you don't realize that's hurtful. And so there's more to it than that. That's like a benign thing that everybody probably does. But, the feeling of that. And so like, I'll take something like that and I'll put an idea around it, an idea that kind of makes sense hook-wise. And so like a song like Call Me, it sounds way worse than it is, but it's like, well, no, there's been points where we haven't talked on the phone for 3 days. We've texted, you know what I mean, or whatever, and just like missed each other because there's points where I'm on tour for more than 3 days, or there's points where I'm up here in Bremerton and they're in Texas for weeks, right, or months. So that's a real thing. But then, you know, I'm like, looking back through my diary, couldn't quite sure, trying to be the best watch with stories. So I'm just thinking about stories that we had with her, and, you know, that's all real. The fact, did she say she wanted to break my leg? Not really, but she has said that she wanted to kick my head in like a football. That's been a real sentence she's said, but I didn't write that thing. And I probably should have. I just probably didn't think about it at the time. Like, in my mind, I'm just writing a sentence and I'm trying to make the words catchy and feel good and also be true, or kind of true, you know, true to something. It doesn't have to be literally true, but there hasn't been a song where she was like, don't put that out. Never. There's been plenty of songs, but like, that's the thing, is like, there's songs that I write that sound like I just broke up with my girlfriend. You know, they sound like that, but I'm just writing it. I'm writing a song with the feelings that I have if the worst were to happen. Or, you know, like, when you screw up, you think, oh, she's definitely going to divorce me now, you know? Have you ever felt that, guys? You ever felt that, the guys that are married? Of course, and hopefully that doesn't actually happen, but like, you feel that, and then I write a song, you know what I mean? So I'm writing a novel in my head, and then it comes out in songs, and I think we all do that. I just have a place to put it. And a lot of times I think music, listening to the music, gives us, when we don't have an outlet, it gives us a place to put our feelings and to cohabitate with that emotion. It doesn't mean it's real. It doesn't mean it's always, you know, it's like, I'm not fixated on breakup songs, or not, of course not, you know. There's a lot of songs, most of the songs I write these days are about struggles of life, about social issues, about personal issues, not necessarily love issues. And sometimes I do write songs that are about love straight up, or about how, you know, having you in my life makes my life better. You know, I write songs like that. Yes. Are they all 100% true, like biographical? Sometimes not. And if it sounds a little weird, it's probably not exactly true. It's just me being a songwriter. So just keep that in mind. Like, I know you guys know me personally because I talk on this podcast all the time, thousands of hours of me talking, but maybe not 1,000, but probably close to. But you know, some of it is just because I'm an extremist in some ways, you know. I freak out, I overreact, I have to get these emotions out, and then I'm like, okay, I feel a little dumb now. I probably shouldn't have written all that or said all that or this and that, but you know, but at the same time, I'm making things up left and right to make things more interesting. And so you know, let's see what else. Undone. It's a very true story. I mean, Undone is probably one of the most true. It's when I come undone. It's when I came, you know. I'm just thinking about the future in this song, but it's a montage of life. If you've seen the movie, The Tree of Life, it's with Brad Pitt, and I don't know who else is in it, but I know he's in it. And it's a very strange movie because it's more of a montage. It's like just scenes from life, and it goes, and sometimes you hear dialogue, but sometimes it's just music and things in slow motion and things happening, and you know, and it's like that's what it can be. That's what that song is for me, Undone. And the part about the second verse about the bird, you know, at the window and smashing against the window, dying in front of its lover, and its lover literally picked up the bird and flew off with it. As we watched, we're like sitting there together watching this thing happen, and it's just like something profound like that happens, and in this world, it's so easy for those moments to pass by unnoticed. And the fact that I could capture it just a little bit in a song, for me, it's like having a little snapshot of that moment in life. That montage is right there and inserted into that song, into our ears, into our brains. And for me, that means a lot. And for most people, it's just poetry. It's not a real thing that happened. It's something that I just came up with. And that's the funny thing, is sometimes it is something I just came up with, but not that time. That was real. So it's when I come undone. It's when I can't. Yeah, it's. I'm better at expressing how I feel in songs, even if it's talking in the abstract. That's it. Thanks for what a great topic, though. I mean, what a great question. Because I often think, oh, people are going to think this is about Holly and me and my relationship with her, and wow, you know what I mean? And sure, I don't air my dirty laundry with her. She is great. She is amazing. Am I? No. I'm a terrible husband half the time, but half the time I'm really good. So, just like a guy, I screw up. I do things wrong. She says it's okay, and I assume that it's okay, things like that, but things worse. But that's the thing is we champion each other, and I want to always adore her. And if there's any song that is negative when it comes to her, it's on my side. It's me being the one that screwed up. And that is true in life. Like, she is flawed like a human is, but she's almost never wrong. And she has discernment beyond her years and beyond anything I've ever seen, and has compassion and has the right outlook almost instantly. Whereas I need to count to 5. I need to count to 10. I need to really, if it's something that I disagree with, I really need to think about how I disagree with what with what's being said, because that matters. And, so I think that gives you an idea of, like, okay, if it's about us breaking up, it's not about us breaking up, because we're not breaking up, but, you're going to know if we ever break up. You'll probably know, but, I still need to write those songs. I have friends that have relationships that I hear about, and very close friends, and very close, people that I talk to all the time. And so all of these things do make it into my songs, like, boom. And they have for years, not just recently, over the years. This relationship, let's write about that. So I think I just, like anybody, any songwriter, any writer, you're internalizing things around you, things you see, things you digest, whatever you read, whatever you see on your phone, online. It's all subconsciously part of who you are now. And so that's why it's so important to, pay attention to what you do pay attention to, right? And what your kids are paying attention to. It's easier said than done, let me tell you. It's a hard current to row against, but I think being aware of it a little bit is important. All right, I've gone off, but I appreciate you guys and your time. Let's get to one more caller.
What up, Mike? My name is Briar. I'm from good old Bremerton as well. I had a couple of questions for y'all. First of all, I was wondering if you were going to be doing any all-ages shows in the Seattle area anytime soon. I have a 15-year-old who cannot wait for adulthood. Secondly, my question is, how has internalized misogyny within the microcosm of the punk rock sphere affected you guys as artists? Do you feel like traditional gender roles created pressure or expectations around your music throughout the years? If so, how would you describe that? Secondly, MxPx shows are always a vibe. They have such a safe, inclusive energy, and they always have ever since I've been going since I was a teenager. And I'm wondering if there's anything you do specifically as artists to create that vibe behind the scenes before the show, or do you just feel like you naturally have a good fan base that just creates that atmosphere? Love the podcast, love the music, keep up the good work. You guys are awesome.
Hi, Briar. Welcome to Bremer. I don't know if so you're from Bremerton, so fellow Bremertonian. Awesome. I was like, what did you say about something about gender roles? There was a lot there, and it was very intelligent sounding. So let me do my best without having planned this at all. MxPx has no expectations of anybody's gender roles. We've always been inclusive. We've always been also inclusive of people that probably aren't inclusive. I'll tell you that. And when people overstep their bounds or are jerks or are negative, I think is the main thing. People that bring negativity to the group, especially online, we try to crack down on that and admin that, if you will. But safe vibes at shows. The question is, do we plan those safe vibes? Do we just let them happen naturally because of our fans? I think it's probably a little bit of both. We do have a mindset going into shows. We have meetings for security. We make sure that everybody's on the same page on what is allowed versus what is not allowed at these shows. But as far as like with the actual fans, with the actual crowd in the show, we're not doing anything really to enforce safe vibes. I think we just have great fans. We really do. You know, every now and again there's a fight in the audience. It's usually in on the West Coast in LA or somewhere over there. But you know, there's just a lot of people over there. But for the most part, people are very, very cool. And even when it gets rowdy in the pit, and it does, people are not expecting MxPx crowds to be as rowdy as they can get, and they do get rowdy. There's still people taking care of each other. You know, I try to mention, you know, let's go hard, let's sing loud, but take care of each other out there. If somebody falls down, pick them up. Let's go. All right, let's go. And then I think that positivity off the stage just informs the audience. This is the kind of crowd, you know, you can get rowdy, you can get big, you can get loud, but take care of each other. And that breeds inclusivity. And everybody's welcome at our shows as long as we respect each other. And I've always been about that. I hate the government on all sides equally. I've never been about the top worshiping, you know, left or right. And, you know, over the years, you get propagandized over and over and over this way and that way. And we can let our guards down. It's nothing to be ashamed about. But I think it's just, you know, we can't all know all the things. And I think the MxPx crowd, you know, they get into what they get into and they know what they know a lot. I just don't know all the things that they know, and we don't really go past that. Like you know, like I'm just thinking about the online community. MxPx they're talking about MxPx shows. They're talking about their families. They're talking about taking their kids to the shows. They're talking about whatever it, you know, road trips. Hey, let's meet up. Let's do this. It's always about the community, and I love that. And I think because it's always been pretty positive, and the negativity has gotten, I would say, quietly rooted out in a lot of ways. Like, we try to just do it gently and give people breaks, and they can come back if they can chill. But the main thing is we just enjoy having this amazing group of people that listen to us that are just good people. It's amazing. So we've always spoken through our music, and that doesn't mean our opinions haven't changed. They've changed over the years, but we always update with new songs, and this is our opinion. This is, you know, and it's usually, hey, let's ride, let's go. No matter, things are going to be tough, things are going to be rocky, the rain's going to come, but we got this. We got this if we're together. And that is the message of MxPx and why we've been so inclusive to all genders. I don't even think of gender when I think of MxPx. You know, the Poking at Ya punk, he's a boy, sure, but he's also just a punk, you know, the Poking at Ya punk, right? Like I said, people aren't really thinking about that, and why should they be? If you're happy and you're treating each other with respect, there's no reason to teach something that they're already doing. Being inclusive, being cool, being regular people. Yeah, no complaints, you guys. MxPx, the whole crowd, you guys are amazing. I appreciate you. And that goes for the podcast crowd too. I know there's probably a few non-MxPx fans that listen. Hey, it's all good. It's kind of weird. I mean, I'm sure there's gotta be, right? Like, can you please call in if you really haven't, maybe you don't hate MxPx, but you just haven't listened to us, and like, you're like, I guess I've heard that you have a band, I just haven't checked it out. Call in. I want to know who you are. I want to know those people. The number's 360-830-6660. All right. I hope I answered your question well. The one thing I didn't answer, you were asking if there was going to be any local all ages shows coming up for MxPx. Yes, we're going to be in Seattle, not Bremerton. We're going to be in Seattle January 10th. That's sold out at the Showbox, but we are going to be coming back to the area. It won't be Seattle. It might not be Bremerton, but we are going to be coming back, and it's going to be good. So please, that's going to be a show you won't want to miss. We're still working on it, still getting things together as things take time, right? But stay tuned for that. And by the way, all of our shows are all ages. Every single show is all ages. And I mean, if you're a baby, you need a parent with you, but you know, like if you can handle yourself on the street, you're welcome to come in to the show. Meaning, I think it's probably like if you're under 8 or 12 or something, you need to have a parent guardian with you. But that's still all ages. You can still come to the show, hang out, do your thing, enjoy, and eventually we will be back in Bremerton. We've played Bremerton quite a few times over the years. Last year we played the Admiral Theater 2 nights. It was awesome. So we'll be back eventually, and we'll be back there, I'm sure. But like I said, stay tuned for it. All right, you guys. Wow. I let out a lot of opinion, a lot of emotion, a lot of ideas, a lot of memories, a lot of stories today. I appreciate the all-girl, not that we want to have gender roles here with MxPx, but the all-girl voicemail episode. Appreciate you. We could use all types of people to call in. Doesn't matter your gender to me. I would love to hear from you. All right, the number one more time, 1-360-830-6660. And if you want to be part of the community online, go to the Facebook, My Carrera Podcast Facebook group. On Instagram, it's My Carrera Podcast. And on Twitter, it's My Carrera Pod. TikTok, it's My Carrera TD. Yeah, okay. That's it. Thanks. Bob McKnight, thank you for producing. Thanks for making this happen. Appreciate you all. I'll see you down in the South, a little bit in the South. Louisville, Kentucky's up next.